This time, let's discuss meters and correct exposure. First, let's talk about digital cameras. For many years, about 30 actually, I was a professional photographer using film-based cameras and developing film and prints in a photographic darkroom using photographic chemicals. You may not have heard of DSkilling, but that occurs when technology replaces skill. Being a photographer was a highly skilled profession. People would pay me to take photographs because they didn't know how to do it themselves. Today, any person can take a digital photo and have it turn out quite well. No special skill required. Your 35mm camera may come with a built-in light meter or even have an automatic exposure. If not, here's 5 minutes on how to get the correct exposure. If you don't have a light meter, you can use a chart like this one. Oftentimes film comes with an exposure suggestion chart, and they are amazingly accurate. When I was a pro, we used to have a saying, F8 and be there. What that meant was, it's actually more important being there to take the photographs than getting the correct exposure. With 100 ISO film, for instance, on a hazy sunny day, the correct exposure is 125th of a second at f8. If you have a meter or want to buy one, they come in two different types. The least expensive uses a photovoltaic cell. The more light, the higher the meter needle goes. The other uses a CDS cell that is a variable resistor, but that one needs a battery to work. Some meters measure the light falling onto a subject, others measure the light being reflected off a subject. Now, light meters can make mistakes. Well, actually, they don't make mistakes. We make mistakes. The most common error is backlighting. There is more light in the background than is falling on the subject, then the subject will appear in shadows. This can easily happen with automatic cameras. The image can be very dramatic if you want it to be, but if you want detail on the subject, you may have to take a reading on the subject alone and not the background. Years ago, we used to use spot meters to overcome this. This specialty meter allows you to take readings off the subject that are in both the highlights and the shadows. Highlights are the brightest part of the picture and shadows are the darkest part. Normally, the highlights will be almost white and the shadows almost black. If you have a meter and want to take full advantage of it, then take readings off the highlights and the shadows and set the exposure based on which area you would like to see the most detail of. Hey, it's almost time to take a break and think about what we learned so far. So if you have any questions, please go to the Ask Me Anything site and we will see you next time. I'm Alan Stokel.